Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, राज भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय. Hare Krishna. Once again, thank you all for ISKCON Koramangala Center morning, Sunday morning Bhagavatam. We'll start with the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udirayate Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, verse number, text, chapter 10, text 15. Mridanga Shankha Bheyascha Veena Panava Gomukha Dundudriya Anaka Gandhathaya Nedurdundubhyascha Tatha Mridanga Shankha Bheyascha Veena Panava Gomukha Dunduri Anaka Gandhathaya Nedurdundubhya Tatah Mridanga Shankha Preyascha Veena Panava Gomukha Dundurya Anaka Gandhataya Nedurdundubhya Tatha. Devotees can recite, maybe Prabhus can recite verse number 15. We are reading verse number 16 that Matajis can recite.
Mridanga Shankha Bhairascha Veena Panava Gomukhaha Dunduryanaka Ghantatya Nedurdundubhayastataha.
Mridanga Shankha Bhairascha Veena Panava Gomukhaha Dunduryanaka Ghantatya नेदुर्धुन्दभियास्तताः
Prabhuji's.
मृदंग संख्या भेर्यश्च वीणपानवगोमुखा धुंधुरी आनका घातन्त्य नेदुर्दुन्दुभयस्तथा
मृदङ्गशङ्खभेर्यश्च वीणापणवगोमुखः तुन्दुर्यानकघण्टाद्य नेदुर्दुन्दुभयस्तथा
Any other Prabhus? Okay, word by word meaning, synonyms. Synonyms: Mridanga, a sweet sounding drum; Shankha, conch shell; Breya, the brass band; Cha, and Veena, string band; Panava, a kind of flute; Gomukha, another flute; Dundhuri, another drum; Anaka, kettle; Ghanta, bell; Adhaya, others; Nedu, sounded; Dundubhya, other different types of drums; Tatha, at that time. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: While the Lord was departing from the palace of Hastinapur, the different types of drums like the Mridanga, Dhola, Nagra, Dunduri, and Dundubi, and flutes like Gomukha, and other instruments like Veena and Bheris all sounded together to show him honor. Purport is not there. We'll move on to the verse number 16. Prashada Shikararuddha Kurunaryo Didrakshaya Vavrashu Kusumai Krishnam Prema Vriddha Smakshanaha. Prasada Shikararuddha Kurunaryo Didrakshaya Vivarshu Kusumai Krishnam Prema Vridha Smitekshana. Prasada Shikhararudaha Kurunaryo Didrakshaya Bhavrashu Kusumai Krishnam Prema Vridha Smitakshena. Matajis can repeat.
प्रसाद शिकारदाः कुरुनार्यो दिदृक्षया नवरसा कुसुमसै कृष्णं प्रेमव्रीडा स्मितेक्षणा
प्रसाद शिखरारूढाः कुरुनार्यो दिदृक्षया ववृषा कुसुमै कृष्णं प्रेमव्रीडा समेक्षणः
प्रसादशिखरारूढः कुरुनार्यो दिदृक्षया ववृषो कुसुमय कृष्णं प्रेमव्रीडास्मितेक्षणः
Any other Matajis, please?
प्रसादाशिखर आरूढाः कुरुनार्या दिदृक्षया वशुषोः कुसुमै कृष्णं प्रेमव्रीडा स्मतयीक्षणाः
प्रसाद शिखरारुद्धा कुरुनार्यो दिदृक्षया वावृषो कुसुमे कृष्णं प्रेमवृथा स्मितेक्षणा.
Matajis.
प्रसाद शिखर आरूढ कुरुनार्यो दिदृक्षया ववरुषः कुसुम कृष्णं प्रेम वृदा समीक्षणा.
Go ahead, yeah, please.
प्रसाद शिखरारूढा
कुरु नार्यो दिदृक्षया ववर्षुः कुसुमै कृष्णं प्रेम वृथा स्मितेक्षणः.
Okay, synonyms: Prasada, the palace; Shikaraha, the roof; Arudha, ascending; Kuru Narayaha, the ladies of Kuru royalty; Didirkshaha, seeing; Bavarshuhu, showered; Kusumai, by flowers; Krishnam, upon Lord Krishna; Prema, out of affection and love; Vridha, Smita Ikshanaha, glancing with a shy smile. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: out of loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of Kurus got up on top of the palace, and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. Purport: shyness is a particular extra natural beauty of fair sex, and it commands the respect from opposite sex. The custom of separating females from males was observed even during the days of Mahabharata, that is, more than 5,000 years ago. It is only the less intelligent person, not well versed in the history of the world, who say that observance of separation of female from male is an introduction of Mohammedan period in India. This incident from Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of the palace observed strict parda, restricted association with the men. And instead of coming down in the open air, where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up on the top of the palace, and from there paid their respect to the Lord Krishna by showers of flowers. It is definitely stated here that ladies were smiling there on the top of the palace, checked by shyness. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are of less important family, or even if they are less attractive. We have practical experience of this fact. A sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifestation of a lady's shyness. Half-naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. Human civilization, as conceived by the sages of India, is to help one free himself from the clutches of illusion. The material beauty of a woman is an illusion because actually beauty is made of earth, water, fire, air, etc. But because there is association of the living spark with the matter, it appears to be beautiful. No one is attracted by an earthen doll, even if it is most perfectly prepared to attract attention of others. The dead body has no beauty because no one will accept the dead body of so-called beautiful woman. Therefore, the conclusion is that the spirit spark is beautiful, and because of the soul's beauty, one is attracted by the beauty of the outward body. The Vedic wisdom, therefore, forbids us to be attracted by false beauty. But because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows very restricted mixing of woman and man. They say that woman is considered to be the fat and man is considered to be the butter. The butter must melt in association with the fat, and therefore they may be bought together only when it is necessary. And shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is nature's gift and it must be utilized. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarani. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So once again, welcome you all for ISKCON Koramangala Center morning Srimad Bhagavatam Sunday morning. Before I start, I would like to seek the blessings of His Grace Vijay Venugopal Prabhu and Her Grace Prem Padmini Mataji and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Please bless me. Please shower your mercy so that I can speak few words for the pleasure of devotees and pleasure of Guru and Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namah ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, verse number 16, out of loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on the top of the palace and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. So just to go back to the background of this, Shanuka Rishi is asking Sutta Goswami how Yudhishthira ruled, and Sutta Goswami replies back saying that after establishing Yudhishthira, Lord Krishna was very pleased. So Krishna, as says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritrana sadhuna vinashesha duskrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he is establishing the religion. Lord was very happy. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was guided by Bhishma's instructions and he is well supported by his brothers. And all the living entities and the nature, earth, river, mountains, everybody was happy. Everybody was giving all that due respect to the Krishna and the king. And there was no enemy, no disturbance, no disease, no excessive heat, no cold. Lord stayed in Hastinapura some time, and now Lord said it's time for me to leave and asked permission from Yudhishthira Maharaj. Actually, Lord seeking the blessings of Yudhishthira Maharaj because in age Yudhishthira is elder. And he hugged the equals like Arjuna and he showered his blessings to Nakula Sahadeva, who is in age is lesser. So seeing this situation, all the Vrijavas, all the Hastinapuravasis, they actually fainted out of separation of the Lord. And they were all aspiring to see the association of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. And it's mentioned that all the hearts were melting for his attraction. So today we will try to discuss this particular topic because in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about the male-female attraction, shyness. Maybe for that I'm not qualified. So we will try to focus on what is the beauty of Krishna. And of course, Prabhupada highlights this point also in the purport. So in the previous verse, the females' tears were flowing because of their misfortune of his departure. So what lesson we can take? How if the Lord is out of our association of our sight, how misfortune we should be. So this is the point we should highlight here. Of course, just a few points from Srila Prabhupada. The purport says, he says that custom of separating females, males was observed even during the days of Mahabharata. So this is the one of the principle Srila Prabhupada wanted to establish in his movement, that the unrestricted mixing should be avoided. It should be, restricted association with men, he says, for women, or vice versa. So that is one point Srila Prabhupada drives in the purport. And of course, Prabhupada drives that, shyness. He says, half-naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. So this is the, point Srila Prabhupada driving, that how we should behave in a society, how we should take care of ourselves as dignified members of ISKCON. And another point Srila Prabhupada drives here is that the conclusion is that spirit path is beautiful. So if the body, whatever we get attracted to opposite sex or other bodies, but the beauty is the spirit park, which is Krishna. So that's the point we'll try to drive today. We see beautiful form of Krishna, and at the same time, many times we get attracted to the beautiful form of the material world, the opposite sex, male, female. So the beauty of Krishna is always permanent, is never, deteriorates, and it's always increasing the beauty. So the Krishna's transcendental form has a reddish luster in 7 places. His eyes, his palms, his soles of his lotus feet, his palate, his lips, his tongue, and his nails. All these are very, very beautiful, the 7 places. The 3 parts of his body are broad, his forehead, his chest, his waist. These are the glories of beautiful body of Krishna. Satchitananda Vigraha, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, that is the beauty of the Lord. 3 parts of his body are very deep. His voice, when he speaks, the voice is sweet, at the same time is very deep. As his intelligence, of course, he is beyond, he is 100%. The Shad Aishwarya, if you think his intelligence is 100%, nobody can beat, nobody can reach. His navel is deep, and there is a highness in the 5 parts of his body: his nose, arms, ears, forehead, and thighs. And the 5 parts of his body are there with the fineness: his skin, his hair on his head and other parts of his body, his teeth, his fingertips. These are very, very fine. Today's world, so many cosmetic industries, they put so many things, but these are all temporary. Within few seconds, it's all vanished. Krishna is always permanent. His complexion is dark blue, black, like a monsoon cloud full of water, with the transparent quality of that emits the dazzling rays of Brahma Jyoti. So this is the beauty of Krishna's body. The various descriptions, we'll try to meditate on this particular point today. How beautiful is Krishna, and also at the end we will try to meditate how fortunate we are to have that kind of a beautiful Krishna as in the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu or Radha Krishna in the form of deity, which we can serve directly. So that's another point we'll try to drive. The few quotes from Srila Prabhupada's some places. Prabhupada says Krishna is beautiful at his different ages, namely his childhood, Kaumara, up to 5 years, his boyhood, Pauganda, up to 10 years, and his youth, Kishora, up to 15 years. Out of these 3, his youth is reservoir of all pleasure and is the time when highest varieties of devotional service is acceptable. At that age, Krishna is full with transcendental qualities and engaged in transcendental pastimes. Therefore, devotees have accepted the beginning of youth as a most attractive feature of ecstatic love. So this is what we see, wherever we see Krishna is always youth. He is never become old. He is always youth. And that is a beautiful form. That is the form all living entity get attracted, all including the birds, beasts, or the monkeys, cows, everybody get attracted to this. And this is happening in millions and millions of years, and it never stops, and it's going to happen also. So his beauty is never going to reduce, and every living entity gets attracted. And that is the purpose, that he attracts living entities so that we can go back to him. So that is the purpose of his beauty, and with that we can attain our back to home, back to Godhead, Golok Vrindavan. So Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter 50th verse, Prabhupada says the word Swayamya Vapu is very significant. Swayamya Vapu is the very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again the beautiful form of Krishna. So again, Srila Prabhupada is saying how beautiful form of Krishna can banish the fear So we are in the life, we are going through so many fears. It could be fear of losing something, fear of getting aged, or fear of getting diseased, or natural calamities. But Krishna is just a beautiful form. Just a glance at that, all the beauty can be, all the fear can be banished. So it's like the child is happily and safely sitting lap of mother, fully surrendered. So that is the beauty of Krishna's form. So we just glance at that beauty, we can easily cross over this nuisance of the material world. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, verse 18 to 12, Srila Prabhupada says, as far as eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but beautiful form of Krishna. So eyes should not be seeing anything else. In the whole purport, Srila Prabhupada talks man-woman attraction here. So the instruction is very clear what we should see. And because we are in this material world, our eyes gets contaminated. We are sometime, here and there gets attracted. That is why Srila Prabhupada established this ISKCON, where beautiful form of deities he has established, which we cannot see in other temples many times. The beautiful form of deity, how nicely decorated, dressed, which in other temples we may not see that. But here, that system Srila Prabhupada put so that we get attracted. We see the beautiful form of deity. The eyes should not be used for anything else other than seeing the form of Krishna. Then he says that will control eyes. Similarly, the ear should be engaged in hearing about Krishna and no smelling flowers offered to Krishna. So, as Srila Prabhupada many places said, all the senses should be engaged in Krishna services. Like Ambarish Maharaj, how he used all the senses for Krishna service. Same way, we should use all the senses for Krishna services. With that, we can come out of Maya's clutch. Otherwise, Maya is so strong. Maya waits for an opportunity. Given a little opportunity, Maya will attract us to other side. And we will not even know we are getting trapped. It's the most dangerous, especially practicing devotees, gets attracted to other side of the sex, which is most dangerous situation. So that's why Prabhupada says we should be engaged. So if you have an association of devotees engaged in service of Krishna, and we have support of other seniors, mentors who are always guiding us, so that system help us to progress in our bhakti nicely. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 24 to 45, that 24th chapter, 45, 46 verse, Srila Prabhupada says, the Vishnu Tattvas, there are hundreds, thousands of millions forms of Supreme Lord. But all these forms, the forms of Krishna is the most beautiful. Like Bhagavatam says, Yatecha kalapumsra Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is that Supreme Lord. So all the Krishna Tattvas, hundreds, thousands, millions, but Krishna is the most beautiful. So that Krishna, along with Srimati Radharani, that's what we worship, and that's what attracts every living entity. Srila Prabhupada says, thus for those who worship Krishna, the word Sujata Ruchinaranam is used. They always worship Krishna. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 5, text 36, Srila Prabhupada says, although Shishupala was always envious of Krishna, he frequently uttered name of Krishna and always thought of beautiful features of Krishna. Thus, by constantly thinking and chanting of Krishna, even unfavorably, he was cleansed of the contamination of his sinful activities. So here Prabhupada gives example how even with envious, with the anger, with all kind of a bad thinking, still he was thinking about, Shishupala was thinking about Krishna, and he was seeing that beautiful form, and his sins gets contaminated. So what will be the good fortune of devotees in ISKCON who has got this beautiful form of Krishna, with the loving services to this beautiful form of Radha, Krishna or Gauranitai, that will definitely cleanse our anarthas, of millions of lives and make us a life successful so that we can go back to Lord in this life itself. So Prabhupada in Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Madhya Lila, 2nd chapter, 29th purport, she says, Gopis are never pleased to see anything but Krishna. The only solace for their eyes is beautiful moon-like face of Krishna, the worshipable object of all the senses. When they cannot see beautiful face of Krishna, they actually see everything as vacant and they desire to be struck by thunderbolt. They do not find any reason to maintain their eyes when they are bereft of beauty of Krishna. So this is the role model, or this is the kind of guidelines we should follow. If we are not able to see the form of Krishna, we should feel that what is the use of these eyes? When we cannot see this beautiful form of Krishna, why have to have this? We know the pastime of gopis. They were actually cursing Brahma. Why did he give this eyelid, which is obstructs their seeing the beautiful form of Krishna? So that is what we should, as a practicing devotees, we should develop. So we should have a nice deity form, and we can decorate nicely, we can worship nicely, and we can get attached or get attracted that beautiful form of Krishna and make our life successful. In Prabhupada Chaitanya Charitamrita, 2nd chapter, 45th verse translation says, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, my dear friends, I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. So this is who is saying? Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. He's saying, I don't have love for Godhead in my heart. And Mahaprabhu, how he was kind of crying out of separation of Krishna. Even though he is Krishna himself, he came in the guise of a devotee, a Channa Avatara, who showed how a devotee should behave, how a devotee should act. He is saying, I don't have any love for Krishna. When you see me crying in separation, I'm just falsely exhibiting demonstration of my great misfortune. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. So he says, I falsely am demonstrating, but actually I'm talking about myself. I'm falsely showing off my love, which is opposite, which I don't have anything. My heart is full of contamination, full of ignorance. So here Mahaprabhu is giving us kind of guidelines how we should behave. Mahaprabhu says, indeed, not seeing the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continue to live my life an insect. So this is what Mahaprabhu is saying. So what is the use of this human body, which I cannot see, I cannot hear, I cannot smell, I cannot taste the prasadam of Krishna, I cannot smell the aroma that the flower offered to Krishna, I cannot hear the glories of Krishna, I cannot see the beautiful form of Krishna. What is the use of this human body? So like that, Prabhupada, some of the places says, the Krishna is beautiful at different ages, namely his childhood, Kamar. I think we discussed this point. And in particular point, His Holiness Lokanath Goswami Maharaj says that whenever we see things of beauty, we should think of Krishna as the proprietor of creation. Many times we get attracted to so many beautiful things. It could be the flowers, it could be anything the scientists create, or some lights, but immediately we should see that who is the creator, who is the brain behind this creation. It could be the opposite sex or whichever it is. Whatever we see that is a beauty, immediately see that the creator, the brain behind is Krishna, and we should appreciate that. Since one of his opulences is infinite beauty, all the Lord's incarnations are very beautiful and are appreciated as such devotees. So Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18, chapter 29th verse. So this is a beauty of Krishna. That's why, see, ISKCON, all the temples, the deities are so beautiful. and so nicely decorated. Every day, different dress, different color combinations, so that the contaminated eyes like me gets attracted and see that beautiful form and gets, there is a pastime of Dhanurdas in Sri Rangam. So this Dhanurdas, of course, many will be knowing that. Just for my own purification, he was attracted to a lady. And one day, Sripad the Ramanujacharya was, in the temple when Sri Ranganathji's procession was going on. So that time he could see Dhanurdas was holding umbrella for this lady, and when the lady is walking, was walking backwards. He's seeing her face and he's holding umbrella and walking backwards. So seeing this, Sripad Ramanujacharya felt so bad when Supreme Lord Ranganathji on the procession, and this person holding umbrella for this lady, and seeing her face, and has no shy, he has no shame. He told one of his disciples to call this, Dhanurdas. So asked Dhanurdas, what are you doing? Why are you doing like this? So Dhanurdas said, Maharaj, I see all the beauty in her. I cannot see anything else more beautiful than. So Sripad Ramanujacharya said, if I show you something better beautiful, will you give up? He said, yes. Next day morning, Sripad Ramanujacharya took this Dhanurdas to the Sri Ranganathji's, the Sancta Sanctorium. And when he saw the beautiful form of Sri Ranganathji, he surrendered at the feet of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Then how he and of course the lady, his wife, later, they served Ramanujacharya so nicely. We know so many pastimes of them. As a grahasthas, they served so nicely because they attracted the beauty of Sri Ranganathji, and of course they served as a, very nice servants. So this is how Krishna's beauty attracts. The beauty of bodily beauty of Krishna is like waves in the ocean of eternal youth. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada writes that. So that beauty of human beauty, certain age, we see that his beauty is coming, but it's temporary. We see some of the aspects on that also. But Krishna's beauty is always permanent, is ever increasing. So there is a pastime that Krishna himself get attracted to his own beauty in Dwaraka. There is a pastime that Lord sees his mirror and says, has seen this person somewhere. Of course, he himself seeing such a beautiful form of Krishna. So that's how Krishna gets attracted to his own beauty, and then we can see how the living entities can get attracted. The difference between human and God. Material body is made of 23 material elements, and we are under the influence of Maya. Maya is waiting for an opportunity to take us, and Maya is testing each and every aspect of our activity. What is my intention? What are you trying to do? I can cheat myself, I can cheat others, but I cannot cheat Paramatma, Supreme Lord, or I cannot cheat Maya. So I may be thinking that I'm doing something with somebody nobody knows. No, Krishna cannot be cheated. And our situation is that we are forced to take birth. We had no freedom that I should take birth here, this body, this parents. No. Whereas Krishna, spiritual body, Satchidananda Ananda, it's always blissful, it's always full of knowledge, it's eternity. And he is the master of Maya. Devi Yesha Gunamai Mama Maya Durattaya. He says, she is my energy. But if you want, surrender to me. You surrender to me, then Maya will help you. So if you want to help of Maya, please surrender to me, Krishna says. So he has no compulsion. He is free will. Whenever he wants to appear, whenever he wants to disappear, he will. So that is the difference between us and Krishna. Now, few points we'll try to discuss how the beauty, material beauty and spiritual beauty is material beauty is fading. The beauties of beauty queens in their youth make men go crazy, become dried up in the old age, grabs turned resins. We can't why can't the beauty of the world remain permanent? So we see all the temporary beauty. It's a very temporary. Very soon, the greatest film actress who are attracted millions, they're all gone, and those who are coming now also will go, and this will continue. So the real beauty is there in Golok Vrindavan. Bhagavad Gita says, Urdhvamulam Adho Shakham. So this material world is upside down. It's a reflection of spiritual beauty. But here it's temporary, and it's so. Have you ever seen a tree with the roots upwards? Yes, the root upward is the spiritual world. So what we have is reflection here. The real beauty is there. So that's why I said that illirudu summane, allirudu nammane. So real house is the Golok Vrindavan. So that's the place we should aspire to go. That's the place we should always strive and make this life successful. This is the human body we got only, and if I miss this, I don't know when I get this human body. I don't know what will happen to the next. So better make use of this opportunity. Get out of this place now. So let's not waste our time. So that's why spiritual world is like a real mango tree, the bank of river. The material world is like a reflection of mango tree. We all know this, So just a few analogies here, how the real marble and the artificial marble, or the real money, the currency, and the fake currency, or the real fruit or the artificial fruit. Everything, temporary. And the artificial fruit we cannot taste. It may look good, but we cannot taste it. The real taste is there in Krishna. Our real beauty is the Krishna, and material beauty is really ugly. Is not beauty. And we know the story of the liquid beauty. How Prince was attracted to a girl who was beautiful, and he wanted to marry her. And when this lady started taking some medicine and put all the stool and the vomit in a kind of a pot, and after a few days she becomes so ugly, and this prince came and asked, where is that beautiful girl? She says, I am the same person. Now he's get confused. How can it be? Few days before you were so beautiful. What happened? So she says, my all beauty is lying there in that pot, which is a pot of vomit and stool. So that shows what is that beauty we are looking for. What is that attraction we are looking for? So nature of material happiness is temporary. How much and how long? It's very short. By blink of eyes, our beauty will go. The blink of eyes, my opulences will go, and everything get boring. I cannot see something for long, whatever in the material world. It could be, whatever we get attracted to the movie, or, seeing anything material, we cannot see long. Once, twice, after that, it gets bored. Whereas Krishna's beauty, Krishna's form is always beautiful. There is no limit, there is no boring, it's unlimited. It keep on increasing. Ananda Mudi Vardhana. So that is the beauty of Krishna's form. And duality, daylight, life, death, summer, winter, pleasure, pain. This is the joy, sorrow. This is the material world. Spiritual world, Vaikuntha. There is no misery there. It's always happiness. This is a place of full of happiness and full of service and full of beauty. And relatives, And in material things, always some better things keep coming. But in spiritual world, nothing better. Everything connected to Krishna is always 100%. So with that, now if you put the material happiness and spiritual happiness in a graph, how it goes over the time, the spiritual happiness is increasing, the graph goes up, whereas material happiness goes down. Whatever it is material, I mean, those who are experienced, we know, the whatever material happiness is temporary. Over a time, it reduces, it diminishes. So whereas spiritual happiness, it keep on increasing. That is why once one attracted to Krishna, he cannot leave. Whatever happens, he'll have to come. Of course, Krishna also will not leave. One who comes to ISKCON, Krishna will not leave him. Krishna somehow, some other places will get connected and bring him back. So that is the beauty of Krishna. So Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita, Yattadagre Visham Iva Pariname Amritopamam Tat Sukam Satvikam Proktam Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. That which is in the beginning may be just like a poison, but at the end is just like a nectar which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be the happiness in the mode of goodness. So many times we see, when come to ISKCON or come to spiritual life, we have to get up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Oh, how difficult it is. That is the most the happy moment, sleeping early morning. And this more comfort, that is Bangalore weather, sometime raining outside, nice weather and raining, nice soothing sound and good kambal and very nice sleeping. If that's the time we do it, is get up. How distracting is that? But he says it is looks like a poison at the beginning, but that is a real nectar. Once we get up, take bath and start seeing the form of the Lord, start singing for him, start chanting the holy name, that is the real nectar. And similarly, Krishna says, Vishayendriya samyogat yattadagre amritobham pariname vishamivam tatsukam rajasam smritham. That happiness which is derived from the contact of senses with their objects and which appears like a nectar at the first, but poison at the end, is said to be the mode of is said in the nature of passion. So this is a material, the nature, the happiness, how it initially looks very nectar, but over a period, it's sometimes it's poison, and many times it's poison. Those who intoxicated, those who experienced intoxication, they will know how difficult it is. Or any other sense gratification, whichever it is, I will not name that. Whichever sense gratification you take, it looks very nectar in the beginning, very few seconds or few hours, then after that it's full of poison, full of misery only. How contradictory is spiritual and material. The spiritual is initially looks poison, but greater portion of it is nectar. It's only the initial few, the moments looks difficult, but it brings always nectar. Whereas material initially looks little happiness, but full of poison. So Bhagavad Gita 5:22, Krishna says, Yehi samprajyatha bogha dukkayonaya evate adya antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha tat sukam rajasam smritam. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and end, so the wise man does not delight in them. Those who are unmuted, please mute yourself. Some sound is coming, please. Thank you. So the pleasure gets out of material senses. O son of Kunti, With such pleasures have a beginning and an antavanta kaunteya, adi antavanta kaunteya. They have an end. You know, they will give a pleasure, but it will end. Whereas what we serve Krishna, what we hear Krishna, what we see Krishna, that is no end. That's always ever increasing. It's day by day is increasing. That's, you know, there is no end to that. So the more we serve, more service we get, more pleasure we get. More we see, we can see more and more beautiful form of Krishna. That's why when Acharya says, when we go to the temple, when we see the beautiful form, we see, take darshan from the lotus feet of the Lord. Slowly, slowly, you know, take darshan of the lotus feet, and then to the, you know, slowly come up knees, thighs, navel, chest, and to the face. Don't go to the face directly, because face is the most beautiful form, but you enjoy the nectar from the lotus feet of the Krishna. So that is the way to take darshan of the Lord. And with that, our attraction to the beautiful form of Krishna slowly increases. In Bhagavad Gita 6:28, Krishna says, Vishayendriya samyoghat yat tad agre amrutopam parinam. Yeah, I think we read this. Yeah. So material senses temporary, and the desire to enjoy the sense objects, which is 522. Krishna says, our senses as want to enjoy, because senses are made to enjoy. Prabhupada says we cannot stop enjoyment. If somebody says, you know, give up, it's not possible. That's why Prabhupada is very condemning Mayavadis. If he says, you know, you look at vacant, no, we cannot see vacant. We have to see something. That's why Prabhupada given this beautiful form of Krishna and the sense enjoyment. Krishna has, Prabhupada has given us so many sense enjoyment. To eat the taste, nice Krishna Prasad, to hear the glories of Krishna, Krishna's holy name, to smell the aroma of flowers, tulasi offered to Krishna. So our senses has to be engaged, diverted. That's all. Enjoyment cannot be stopped. And whereas what we do for spiritual, the soul gets eternal, and the desire to serve increases. That service is the training here. That's the practice. ISKCON is the, what you call, the training center. Because when you go to Goloka Vrindavan, we have to serve. And if you have to serve there, we have to get practice here. We have to get certificate from our seniors, get certificate from our guru, and get recommendation and approval from Srila Prabhupada. So that is the ISKCON. We have to do that service. Continuously serve devotees and seniors in the temple and center. That will take us to the next level where we can. So that Goloka, Krishna says, Na tad bhashayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakah, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun, moon, nor by fire, electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. 15:6. So that is the beauty of Krishna. Once we see that, once we understand, we'll never come back. Sometimes people argue that, hey, who has seen that, you know, what Goloka you were talking about? Who has seen that? You know, the acharyas giving that. Acharyas, given the, as per Shastras, just accept it. Otherwise, if I start questioning it, I'll be rotating here only. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. So I will be here. I'll never get out of this. So now Krishna's beauty is described as Madana Mohana, who is attracted even by the greatest attraction. So just to move around, for Brahmaji says, Kandarbha Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose unique loveliness charms of millions of cupids. So that cupid get attracted to Krishna. Even Brahmaji prays in 10th canto. He says, the Brahmas, Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality Godhead. and therefore I offer my humble obeisance and prayers just to please you. O son of king of cowards, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like a lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your ganja earrings and the peacock feather on your head, wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, and equipped with the herding stick, a buffalo horn and flute. You stand beautifully with the morsel of food on your hand. So this is how Brahmaji is glorifying. When the our creator Brahma is glorifying that Supreme Lord, that is the only attraction we should have. With that attraction, and that form is so beautiful, so many description given, so many varieties of description, and with this description we can decorate Krishna in the deity form. All these forms, whatever used here, can be used Krishna's decoration. So Brahmaji further says, my dear Lord, neither I nor anyone else can estimate the potency of the transcendental body of yours. Brahmaji saying this. He says, I cannot estimate your transcendental body, the potency, the beauty of your transcendental body, which has shown such a mercy to me. See, Brahmaji saying, which has shown mercy to me. So we all should be how fortunate that that Lord shown so much mercy on us, which appears just to fulfill the desires of your pure devotees. So why he appears? Just to fulfill the desires of his pure devotees. And although my mind is completely withdrawn from the material affairs, I cannot understand your personal form. How then could I possibly understand the happiness of you experience within yourself? So he says he has completely withdrawn from material affairs, but not for me. Maybe many of us, we are not withdrawn. We are still in the material world. We still attracted to material things, and then we see what will be our fate. So we should understand that we should take benefit of this Krishna's beautiful form and get attracted to that. And next verse, Lord Brahma says, those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, we have our own position, we are grastas, and we have our own duties. That's why Brahma says, establish your social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge. So this is another point. Srila Prabhupada many places said, throw away this process of speculative knowledge, Mayavada or all this. And he says, with their body, words, mind, kaya, vacha, manasa, offer all respect of description to your personality and your activities. Janma karma chame divyam. His birth, his appearance, his activities are divya, transcendental. And he says, your mind, your word, and offer respect to the description of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to those narrations. We have to dedicate our lives to hear the narrations of Supreme Lord, which is vibrated by you personally, Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Lord personally, and by your pure devotees, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So we cannot conquer. So many rishis meditate for thousands of years. They cannot even reach see the lotus feet of the Lord. Whereas ISKCON devotees, just by chanting, just by following the four regular principles, they can see nice form of Krishna. This is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So here Brahmaji is saying, and before end, so this is the most important point. So the gopis or the Mathuravasis, when Krishna and Balram, they reached Mathura, same situation, they went to the terrace and they were seeing, like here in Hastinapur, the ladies went to the terrace of the house with a shyness. They were seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. Here in Mathura also, when Krishna and Balram, they came with the, to fight with the Kamsa, So here the Gopi says, Gopya satapakim acharam tad amushya rupam lavanyasharam ashordhavam ananya siddham dirgha pibanti anushasvabhavam durapam ekanta dhama yashashaha shriya aishwarya aishwarasaya. He says that Lavanya Saram, the essence of the loveliness, Ashana Vruddhavam, not parallel to the that surpassed. There is no equivalent. Who is saying this? The ladies in Mathura. They're saying that Gopya Tapaha, that gopis in Vrindavan, what kind of austerities they would have done. They could see this beautiful form Krishna throughout the day. What tapas they would have done it. Now I am thinking that what the same gopis will be saying, what austerities these god devotees would have done. They can see this beautiful form of Krishna day and night, throughout 24 hours. We can worship the Krishna. So he says that not siddham, ananya siddham, not perfected by any other ornament and self-perfect. Dirgabihi, by the eyes, pibanti, they drink, anushaha, abhinnava, constantly. So this is how the gopis, the Mathuravasi ladies were glorifying that, gopis of Vrindavan, how fortunate they are, how nicely they were serving Krishna. So due to time, we will not cover. So just a few points before end. So very soon, Damodara month is coming. The beautiful form of Krishna in Damodara form, we can daily worship. Of course, we can worship other days also. This wonderful month is coming up. We can give this beautiful form of Krishna to others, because Srila Prabhupada says our movement is preaching movement. We are not bhajanandis, we are ghostanandis. We have to go out to the street. Now maybe many places Corona is coming out. Wherever possible, with keeping our health and safety, precautions. Let's give this to as many people as possible, so that people get attracted to the beautiful form and they also get. And finally, let's give this wonderful form of Krishna in the form of Gauranga, so that we can invite them to our center, our temple, and let's all chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So just to conclude, so the beauty of material world is temporary, and whatever we go through here is going to vanish, and whatever we get attracted going to vanish, and looks like sometimes nectar but is poison, whereas the spiritual beauty of whatever created by Krishna and Krishna's form himself is eternal, is ever increasing, everlasting, and that is going to give you more and more nectar, and the attraction to the form of Krishna, that will help us to get out of this material world as soon as possible in this material life, in this life itself, not wait for one more life, so that we can get out of it and make our life successful. Om Tassat. Hare Krishna. Devotees can share their realization. If I make any mistakes, please correct me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prasadeshwar Prabhu.
Krishna.
As usual, you covered everything very nicely. You nicely explained about the beauty of Krishna. So I want to just build on that, about our beautiful Gaurnitai in the Kurmangala Center. One of the most beautiful Gaurnitais in the world, I think. I'll first start from the history, how we got them. When we were in Mayapur, Prem Kadmani and I, we looked at all the Gaurnitais available over there, deities. And finally, we selected, there were so many, in the Namahatta department. They said that's where all of them are. We went to the Namahatta department. We selected the most beautiful one. Then we went to the person who carves all of these. And we told him, this is the one. We took the photo and said, this is the one we want. And so he did. And he said, I don't know. I said, will they come as beautiful? And he said, I don't know. If they want to appear, they will appear. So they appeared so beautifully, and the cost of that was fully covered by Sakhi Kalavati Mataji. All of us know how many sponsors. And then we brought them here. And now we can see that they are becoming more and more beautiful because of the way they are being served. We have now very nice pujaris serving them in the center. So, and we all have an opportunity. Every morning we are seeing the devotees performing Mangalati there, and we are seeing the deities. So that is an opportunity for us to fall in love with the beauty of our Gaurnitai. And then once we are allowed to reopen, then of course every Sunday minimum, every Sunday morning we can meet and can again appreciate the beauty, and then other classes also, other opportunities also. So simultaneously, then just appreciating the beauty is not. One of them is making nice dresses for them, crowns, or buying them for them, decorating them, making flower garlands, and then also the helping in the cost of maintaining them, keeping them happy over there. So obviously, the palace which we got for them is very expensive, and it's going to get more expensive from December because we got a discount for that discount will stop. And also we want, so we have to meet all the costs. So Ashri Jagannath Prabhu will tell us how much deficit we have, and then we again request everyone to increase our monthly contribution or get new people, more devotees to contribute so that we can meet the deficit. Once the figure comes, I'll publish it. And also we need to get nice new devotees to stay in the center. That means it can be new people also who are very keen. They'll follow all the rules. I'm going to post the rules which they have to follow. Now we are going to make sure that whoever stays in the center is actually fit to be, fit to be there. That means very nicely. They'll get up early in the morning. They'll participate in everything. They'll participate in preaching, and so that they're living in the center and they're just going out to earn their living. That's all. So that kind of devotees, how everything will be handled, I'll post that also. So please, in both these ways, we request everyone to help. First is come every morning and then enjoy the beauty of Gaurnitai. Once we are open, then come every Sunday and the other days and enjoy their beauty. Serve them in different ways. Help in meeting the cost of their dwelling and everything, and also get nice new people who will serve them very nicely when they're there. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhu,
Mataji.
very nice. You talked about how to switch our vision from material beauty to Krishna's beauty, and definitely that's a very good this thing. And I just I just wanted to add that the relationship with the opposite gender, the Madhurya Ras. Oh, I mean, that is with Krishna, of course. But of course, in material life also, we have romantic love. And that, because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his method, very easily in ISKCON, we are able to overcome that, because we know that, how he chanting Hare Krishna and all the other services. And the most important is the preaching, because Madhurya Ras, which happens in the spiritual world, that you can experience, that is the service that the gopis give to Krishna, most intimate, most confidential, and very satisfying to the soul. And that same Madhurya Ras can be experienced on this earth when we preach, when we bring souls, when we cultivate them and give them knowledge and make them devotees. That's so satisfying to Krishna. And it's very telling also that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Krishna in the mood of Radharani, and all the gopis and the manjaris who took birth as the Vaishnava, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan, all of them, because of their preaching, they're all gopis who did that service. So it's correlates. And it's very, and I just wanted to see, like Brahmaji, in his form as Brahma, he is prone to sometimes, very rarely though, being attracted by the female form, even if he really is the creator, but he himself gets attracted. So that chance is there in Brahma. But when he came as Haridas Thakura, then because he was in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and his chanting was also as a preaching, he was preaching to people and all that. And Maya Devi herself came, most beautiful she came. Nobody can, this thing, her charms. And Haridas Thakur was not at all, attracted. So that comes automatically, the satisfaction. Even, so much, I mean, this, that is the thing. And we found in our day-to-day, I mean, practical experience, we had in the beginning when we had in Muscat, some young boys, who had just joined up. They were serious boys. But every day in the Bhagavatam class, they will ask the same question: how to overcome Maya? How to overcome Maya? Because, they used to be attracted by the opposite gender. And all the philosophy, whatever you tell them, still, they couldn't, they knew that they were getting attracted and they wanted to be in Krishna consciousness. But the minute we started the Bhakti Vriksha, where they had to seriously take care of people, call people up and go, and the mood of this thing, the whole, because that love, that lust gets converted to love. And somehow, even those same boys, they stopped asking all those questions. How to overcome Maya and all. And they were preaching to young girls also. It didn't make, I mean, with a distance, but the mood was different. Instead of just trying to see them as objects of, sense gratification or something to admire and like that, their beauty, they started seeing the soul within them, and they have to be preached to about Krishna consciousness. Completely their, this thing changed. That was very amazing. And even Grihasthas, before, every time they used to have some problem, some quarreling, something or the other. But once they started the Bhakti Vriksha, no more. I mean, okay, always there will be some problem, some misunderstanding, but very less, and it could be easily solved. But so that is the Madhurya Ras also in the preaching. We have to, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, and he's giving us, and we can understand Madhurya Ras also very nicely if we do this preaching in a very more complete way of, satisfying Krishna, satisfying Gauranga Mahaprabhu. I'm sure then it's very easy to overcome Maya also. That one, I mean, you mentioned other services, but also being, doing Bhakti Vriksha, especially because it's a personal service, and that relationship, the desire to have close personal relationships also is satisfied. And it's very amazing, even, people from other countries and all, like, for example, Russians, they don't know anything about all this. And when they started doing Bhakti Vriksha, they could, I mean, it was amazing when they used to write their own, they used to do dramas and all that. Their understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Ras, I mean, the Madhurya Ras and all was amazing. So that's the thing. And also, the first set of Bhakti Vrikshas in Russia were all, not first, the very first was a couple. Then after that, so many Mataji, so many young girls were there in their group, and they all started Bhakti Vrikshas. And so it was a mixed crowd that joined their groups, boys and girls. And many people predicted, you just see what's going to happen. All these girls, it's just going to become a big tamasha with all boys and girls indulging in all sorts of things. This was their prediction. And nothing like that happened. It was all, I mean, they were meeting, continuing to meet. They all became very serious devotees. And, many of them, of course, some girls got married to somebody in the group, but they got married. It's not that they were having fun or anything. They seriously, okay, they thought, okay, both are Krishna conscious, and that's it. Afterwards, they were very fine. So that's, I mean, the satisfaction in that comes only when we are engrossed in preaching and taking care of people. Then that desire for this romantic love will also be completely satisfied. So that's what I wanted to add. I mean, you mentioned all of the services. This also internally it purifies us and makes us experience also the Madhurya Ras.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Please bless so that I can also do some service.
you are doing from here.
Anyone else? Any other comments or any questions? No? Okay. Prasanna Prabhu, over to you. Gantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.